nearly 3:02, so without further ado, we will kick off. Thank you for joining today's webinar on building AI apps on Microsoft Teams. My name is Sulabh Jain, and I'll be your host today. In my role here at Antares as the head of product and apps, I work with customers on a daily basis to solve industry problems on the Microsoft platform. My team specifically focuses on implementing intelligent apps for customers, whether they're collaborative apps, cloud-native apps, conversational agents, or pure AI-based apps and solutions. Joining me today is Satya Ramindran from Microsoft. Satya is the product manager at the Microsoft Teams platform team. Satya focuses on overseeing development of Teams platform capabilities, but a large part of Satya's role is to inspire customers to think of Microsoft Teams as a comprehensive platform for building apps, integrating line of business solutions, and elevating productivity. Matching Microsoft's strategic shift towards AI, Satya's focus extends to AI-enabled solutions, exploring the best methods to harness the power of Azure OpenAI and building secure, scalable, and responsible enterprise AI applications. So today's webinar offers an exciting exploration of the synergy between Microsoft Teams and the incredible power of AI. With over 300 million active users, Teams has become the central hub for our work, for meetings, to collaborate on documents, completing tasks, etc. And it is within this flow of work that I think the real opportunity lies, as Microsoft Teams enables us to solve business problems more effectively and efficiently than ever before. Microsoft AI platform and ecosystem that now includes OpenAI large language models provides a powerful toolkit that empowers enterprises to harness the true potential of AI. From intelligent chatbots and virtual assistants to data analytics, design, and content creation, we know generative AI offers a wealth of possibilities. So we'll discover how organizations can leverage the Teams platform and its AI library to automate routine tasks, extract valuable insights from data, and develop personalized experiences for their stakeholders. Throughout the webinar, you will all be on mute, but don't let that stop you in engaging with us in the chat, or if you have any questions at any point in time, feel free to type that away in the chat window or the Q&A window as well. We will reserve some time at the end for live Q&A. So we will, if we're not able to address that in the chat during the session, we will definitely go through those questions at the end, and we can also set up individual meetings for more in-depth discussions if need be. All right. So today we'll start with the basics, and I'll give you an introduction to generative AI shortly. We'll then learn about the practice of responsible AI and why it is critical for developing any AI-based applications. I'll then hand over to Satya, who will give us an overview about building apps on Teams, and then Satya and I will provide some small, a couple of examples, basically, of how AI-based apps can be implemented in real-world scenarios, leveraging Teams. And finally, we'll go through some of the quick start programs we have available to help customers get started with AI and building apps on Teams. So just to give you a very brief introduction to Antares, I thought it would be great for you to know a few important things about us. We have over 16 years experience in implementing a wide-ranging solutions for some of the biggest brands in Australia. We specialize in delivering solutions on the Microsoft platform that span across modern work, application development, and data and AI. We have a culture of innovation and have a range of IP that we bring to the table when implementing solutions or looking to solve industry problems. We also work with Microsoft account teams, but also engineering teams on a number of initiatives together. We do a lot of work on AI with the developers of the revolutionary AI-based self-learning bot called QBot that was showcased by Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella during his keynote speech at Microsoft's Worldwide Conference in 2019. I'll be showing you an evolution of that bot working with Azure OpenAI in a couple of my demonstrations today. And lastly, we are part of an alliance called the Cloud Collective that provides end-to-end solutions on any of the three Microsoft clouds, whether it's Dynamics, Azure, or M365. Now, since we're talking about AI today, I thought it would be probably best if I give you a very quick overview again of some of the solutions and projects we do on leveraging AI. And as you can see, it spans across all of the business areas. So whether it's modern work, whether it comes to knowledge management, search, Microsoft Syntax, whether it's to do with data and AI projects, whether it's predictive analytics, data enrichment, recommendations engine, sentiment analysis, and those kind of things, or whether it's building Copilot plugins and extensions, implementing Copilots, building multi-channel bots, or pure AI-based applications. We do a lot of work in this sort of field. All right. Now, as we get into the topic of today's discussion, I thought it would be good if we can start off with a quick poll, just to help everybody, including Satya and myself, get a good idea about how everyone attending today's webinar is using Teams when it comes to especially leveraging apps. So you should have a poll come up on your screen shortly with 2 quick questions, and if you could take 30 seconds to participate, that would be amazing. So the first question is, has your organization implemented any custom apps to suit your business needs on Microsoft Teams platform? And you have 4 options there to pick from. If you have successfully implemented custom apps on Teams, if you haven't, but you're actively considering developing apps, or you have not explored any of those possibilities yet, or you're not sure. And the second poll question is, which type of AI-based custom app do you believe would bring the most value to your organization or team in Microsoft Teams? Whether you think it's AI-powered chatbots, or you think it's data analytics and reporting, natural language processing for efficiently finding content and finding information, or whether you think it's around personalization of tasks and recommendations to improve business and individual productivity. Once you've completed the poll, you will be able to see everyone's aggregated results, and we will also provide these results to you later in our email. And the poll will remain open for a few more minutes, so you will have plenty of time to participate as we move along. Okay. So what is generative AI? And I'm sure many of you now are very familiar with generative AI and starting to think about how you can leverage it for business purposes. And I'm sure many of you are using it for personal purposes as well. But just for everybody's benefit, and so we have a level set on the technology side of things, generative AI refers to a category of artificial intelligence that possesses the ability to create new and original content. The generative AI models learn from patterns in data that use that knowledge to then generate novel content in various different forms, whether it be text, images, music, or code. Now, over the years, generative AI has experienced significant advancements, largely driven through the breakthroughs in deep learning algorithms and neural networks. These advancements have resulted in the development of highly sophisticated models capable of generating quite complex and very realistic content. So to power the generative AI tools, large language models play a very important role. These LLMs, as they're called, are trained on vast amounts of data that's gathered from diverse sources, including books, articles, images, videos, web pages, code repositories, etc. So just to give you an idea, GPT-3, the generative pre-trained large language model that is behind ChatGPT, boasts around 175 billion parameters and has access to a vocabulary of 300 billion words. Now, the latest model from OpenAI, which is GPT-4, is rumored to be around rumored to contain about 1.8 trillion parameters, about 10 times more than GPT-3, which emphasizes the growing scale and the complexity of these generative AI models. Now, so what's Azure OpenAI? And Azure OpenAI is a partnership between OpenAI and Microsoft, where Microsoft provides the infrastructure, security, and scalability for OpenAI models on the Azure platform. It allows organizations to build enterprise-level applications at scale. So furthermore, Azure OpenAI, I should say, offers global availability, enabling the deployment of AI models across different regions on a highly available infrastructure. It also provides virtual networks, private endpoints, and integrations with Azure Active Directory to provide secure access restricted to authorized users. Now, when deploying models or services in Azure OpenAI, enterprises can also take advantage of APIs, SDKs, and interactive Azure OpenAI Studio for visualization and testing. One of the libraries we're going to talk about today is the Teams AI library, which is now available and can be leveraged for generating or building apps on Teams. One more point on this. Just wanted to make sure that you will understand that all of the data that is passed on to Azure OpenAI through your application is local to your Azure subscription, which means your data remains your data, and you have full access to that. So just to delve on that a little bit more, when we say your data is your data, we mean that all of the data that you use or generate within the Azure OpenAI service is stored, encrypted at rest in your organization's Azure subscription. So you have full control over that data. When we say your data is not used to train foundational models, we mean that training data provided by the customer is only used to fine-tune the customer's model and is not used by Microsoft or OpenAI to train or improve their existing models. And when we say fine-tuning, we mean that the data never moves into the foundational AI models itself that are used by other customers at large. So you don't have to worry about training the model with your data and then having to be a competitor or having to compete with others that are doing similar kind of things. The fine-tuned models also only live in your subscription and only you get to use them. So those are some of the things that I just wanted to call out, just to make sure you're aware about how the data is treated and what is it used for or not. All right, let's just talk about 4 broad capabilities of generative AI GPT models that enterprises are mostly benefiting from. So number 1 is content generation, which is a powerful capability of generative AI. Which has the ability to learn from vast amounts of data, like I covered before, and can produce diverse and compelling digital assets, such as articles, blogs, posts, product descriptions, and more. So this capability saves time and resources while enabling businesses to create engaging content at scale. Summarization is another valuable capability of generative AI. The AI models can efficiently analyze and distill complex information into concise and meaningful summaries. This enables enterprises to process and understand large volumes of data quickly, aiding in decision-making, research, and information retrieval tasks. Code generation is a game changer for software development. Generative AI can automatically produce code snippets and scripts based on specific requirements. This capability accelerates the development process, increases productivity, and helps programmers focus on high-level tasks while the AI handles the repetitive coding aspects. And finally, semantic search, which is a favorite of mine. It is revolutionizing how enterprises discover and retrieve information. By understanding the context and meaning of queries, generative AI delivers more accurate and relevant search results. This capability enhances user experiences, improves search efficiency, and enables business to find the information they need quickly and effectively. So these are just some of the capabilities of generative pre-trained models, but they provide immense value to enterprises across various different domains, especially when you start to combine these capabilities over each other. And by leveraging these capabilities, we have the ability to enhance productivity, improve decision making, automate repetitive tasks, and deliver a much better user experience. Now, I'm going to talk about responsible AI because it's important, and I won't go into a lot of depth just because of time shortage today. But I just wanted to cover this at a brief level before we get on to the team side of things. So for those who are not very aware of this, responsible AI refers to the practice of developing and deploying AI systems in a manner that aligns with ethical principles, societal values, and legal requirements. It involves ensuring fairness, transparency, accountability, trustworthiness in AI models, and their impact on individuals as well as communities. Microsoft has developed a comprehensive framework to guide organizations in building and developing these AI systems responsibly. This framework is on your screen. It encompasses 6 key principles of fairness, reliability and safety, transparency, privacy and security, accountability, and inclusiveness. Like I said before, I'm not going into detail in each of those aspects. I'm more than happy to separately, but I just want to make sure that we all keep this at top of mind whenever we're embarking on any AI projects and implementations. Now, without further ado, let me pass on to Satya, who's going to talk to us about Teams, the Teams AI library, and the wonderful things we can do with it in building apps.
Thank you, Sulabh. Hi, everyone. I think as Sulabh mentioned, I'm a product manager within Microsoft Teams Engineering. I'm very excited to be here today with all of you to talk about AI-powered collaborative apps in Microsoft Teams. Now, this slide that you see here, I think most of you, almost all of you would be familiar with the top 3 circles on the right side. You'd be using Teams very frequently for your meetings, for your chat, one-on-one chat, group chats, or even for making calls with your colleagues or with other classmates. The last 2 circles, right, the collaborate and apps angle, that's probably something that I would want to focus more on for this session. When we were building Teams early on, our idea was to have collaboration as its focus, as its center of things. We didn't want to just stop with having it as just a calling and meeting solution. We want to also bring in your apps, workflows, processes, the systems that you would use in your day-to-day life within the flow of work, within the place where you do your daily meetings and chats. That's why we call Teams as your hub for collaborative work. And here, what we mean by collaborative apps is that these are apps, system solutions that you would probably use in your day-to-day work. Think of ticketing systems or a CRM, or say if you're a developer, maybe a bug tracking tool, or even for rewarding someone, you want to reward your fellow colleague and you'd want to use a solution for that, a Teams app for that. You have an app that can work within Teams, and that's what we call as collaborative apps. And the reason why we call it collaborative apps is we purposely make sure that our Teams platform offers the tools and services to make the app collaborative and not just work in isolation. We don't want people to do their chatting meetings in one place and go to some other different place to work with their apps in a completely in isolation. We want the apps to also be in the flow of work, in the process of you doing things, so that it doesn't really feel like a lot of context switches day to day for you. Imagine you on a daily basis, we have seen from reports that every person works with about 6 to 8 systems in a single day. And imagine the number of context switches that happen if you have to switch between multiple different apps, right? We don't want that to happen. And that's why we want to bring all these collaborative apps within Teams, within your flow of work. So collaborative apps in Teams offer a singular streamlined ecosystem rather than using a patchwork of various apps and services that don't speak to each other. Not only does it make it easy to get started right away, but it reduces the insight gaps, overlap, and security issues. What you have on the slide here is the different types of collaborative apps, or the different ways, different shapes that collaborative apps can take. I think most of you would be familiar with the leftmost bots, the Microsoft apps. There are about 100 plus out-of-box app experiences that Microsoft provides to you as part of your Teams experience. there are also a bunch of third-party apps, right? Like that's something that's maybe some of you might be familiar with, some of you might see this as new thing. So these are SaaS services that you would have known and used outside, third-party solutions or SaaS services that you would have used outside. Those apps are also available within Teams in a slightly different flavor, where the collaborative angles for it, for example, for a Jira or a Confluence, where you'd want to work in collaboration with your team members in a group chat and so on, the Teams apps for Jira will help essentially help you there, and the app focuses on those collaborative pieces within the Teams app. So you have a bunch of different third-party apps as well. We recently announced we have 2,000 apps in our app store right now. Even this slide is dated because we are adding new apps every day. Lastly, the third box is probably like my most favorite one. Even though there are Microsoft apps and there are third-party apps, these are going to be bespoke solutions. Like it would not be, it would be solutions offered by an ISV that is a third-party provider or from Microsoft. You might have needs or requirements for an app or solution that is very customized to your own unique business requirements, right? You might have your own business process solutions that possibly a third-party app or Microsoft app cannot really satisfy. So in those cases, our Teams platform also offers you a way to build your own custom apps using our platform. And we have a bunch of different options there. One is there is a low-code, no-code platform using Power Platform, where you can do a bunch of drag and drop, a little bit of business logic, and you have an app ready to go. Or you can also build one from scratch using C#, Node.js, or your own programming languages, and you have a full-fledged app running in Microsoft Teams. So you absolutely have the tools needed to build an app that is very, very unique to your organization and make it work within Teams just the way that you like it. And we bring all of this into one single layer within Teams. That's why we call Teams as hub for collaboration or a single scaffolding layer. The unique aspect of this is even these apps, like I mentioned earlier, being collaborative apps, they don't need to be worked in isolation. You can have one app handing over to other. You can start with the Microsoft app, say, for example, a Word document to start reading a document, and then you can use your own custom app to send the document for approval for a different manager, right? So you can actually thread these apps one after another and have your workflow beautifully built out, and you don't have to work on this in isolation. Next slide, please, Sula. Whatever I spoke so far is something that has been out there for some time, right? This is not new. What's new now is Microsoft has come up with a bunch of different, APIs, SDKs that you can use to infuse AI into your existing Teams apps. What Sulabh spoke about in terms of Azure OpenAI is one way of integrating AI into your apps. Azure OpenAI provides a bunch of REST APIs, and it also has an SDK using which you can build AI-powered apps. What I'm going to talk about next is something called as Teams AI Library. And yeah. Thank you. So AI has been delivering value for many companies for years. Yet prior to the advent of generative AI, leveraging AI required special skill and the implementation of automation via bots. And that has been limited to very static commands. Say, for example, you must have seen this in many sites as well. If I ask the same thing in a different way or in a different language before generative AI, bots did not know what to do. Additionally, the bots had no knowledge or context of the developer. If you can stay on the previous slide, Sulabh, please. Yeah. Thank you. Additionally, the bots had no knowledge of context, and the developer had to present every single option to try and cover all possible intents. Simply put, the bots did not offer a natural language interface. It was more of a programmatic flow. You had a specific set of menus that you need to follow in order to get to your end goal. There was no semantic understanding from intent to action. All interactions rely on hard-coded paths and the user reading through each option in the interface, which is frankly laborious. Next slide, please, Sulabh. In this example of current state, The static bot actions, like I mentioned, these are the menu items. This is the current state where we did not have AI actions at all. Now, if we can move to the next slide, we have Teams AI library, which offers your applications the ability to to be updated to a natural language interface. Users can ask their questions in their own words and terms, and even in your own language. Large language models, LLMs, interpret the request and find the best match from available capabilities. Developers or business users, they do not need to learn complex AI skills. Users need not remember, oh, which command should I ask so that the bot responds. They don't need to remember anything of that sort. You can talk to the bot as if you're talking to your human colleague, and the bot will be able to understand and do the action for you. Teams AI library is a team-centric interface, an SDK that we are offering for building a GPT-based common large language model interface for your Teams bots. This moderates the need for you to take on complex and expensive task of writing and maintaining the bot logic and to integrate with your LLMs. Next slide, please, Sula. Here is an example of how that works, right? In this case, you have a team which is in a group chat, and they are discussing about a particular development activity. And one of them asks this bot called Contoso, can you show all open items assigned to me, right? And Contoso bot is able to interpret that open items mean items which have the status as open, and assigned to me is interpreted into assigned to Amanda Brady, the user who is asking the question. So the bot is able to do this interpretation in runtime and able to provide a list of responses that matches the question. Next slide. You can not just ask a question, you can actually have a one-on-one chat with the bot. You can actually chat and have a conversation with the bot. That's what Amanda is doing over here. She's asking, hey, can you assign the bug item where compose breaks for 640 pixels to Kayomiwa? If you see here, this is a very conversational way of asking things. In this case, Amanda is not providing a bug ID. She's not providing a link to the bug. She's just mentioning a part of the title for the bot to understand. But even with part of the title where compose breaks for 640 pixels, the bot is able to understand that Amanda is talking about this particular bug, and it has selected that bug, and it is able to understand Kayo Miwa is a colleague of Amanda Brady and able to assign that bug to Kayo Miwa automatically. This is very similar to how you talk with a colleague in your day-to-day life, right? And if you move on to the next slide, there are more actions that you can do on this. You can also ask the bug to update, item with feature, etc., and it will be able to update the feature automatically. And in the next one, you will be able to do more complex updations as well. You can, of course, with Teams' own capabilities, you can bring in a pop-up interface where you can do a much more visual manner of updating a bug or ticket, and you can go ahead with that particular workflow. And if you move on to the next slide, Sulabh, we have, I just wanted to summarize what you just saw, right? Like we have a bunch of different capabilities that you just saw, and I wanted to make sure that you understood where each of that falls under. What you just saw as a demo is built using Teams AI library, which is an SDK that Microsoft offers. This enables the bot to be completely natural language interface understanding. So you can talk to the bot in any language. I will come to that. That's actually a different point, but still you can talk to the bot in natural language as you would speak with a human. You don't have to stick to a particular format. And it is completely localized in the sense that you can speak to it in any language. I think GPT currently understands 180 languages. So whatever you ask, say, update the bug, can be spoken in Spanish, Italian, German, and the bot will be able to understand and respond the same. And it is simple to use. You have a consistent interface. So the way that you talk with one bot will be the same as you talk with other bots, as long as it's integrated with AI library. What that means is for an end user, I don't have to remember the different ways that I need to speak with different apps, right? It's not the responsibility or the burden of knowing how to interact with an app does not fall on the user. Rather, the app takes the responsibility of understanding the user, however they speak, and able to come up with a good response for that. And Sulabh, I think we have a demo on Teams AI Library as well, right? Absolutely. So if you can pause the video and let me talk about this a little bit. So just before this presentation, what I did was I configured a Teams AI library bot to understand a bunch of actions. If you see the I think the chat message that I had sent over here, I had asked the bot to understand actions such as searching of a ticket or creating an IT ticket, creating a HR ticket, and escalating a ticket. So the bot currently understands and knows to do these 4 actions only. So the bot has been configured to do this. If you see this, the bot was originally coded to be very generic. It can do a bunch of different actions. And I have used English natural language to make the bot to understand ticketing management alone. So it's very easy to configure with natural language to just do ticketing management. And if you can play the demo slot. My first question is, can you find the status of my ticket for with ID 12345? And it is able to correctly understand that I am calling the search ticket function, and it is able to pass the ticket ID as well. So just from a minute of configuration, with not even touching the code, with natural language as English as prompt, I am able to get the bot to understand, find the status of my ticket should mean searching a ticket. Please proceed. Next step, I asked something like, okay, I'm experiencing network connectivity issues. Can you help me? So here, nowhere did I mention I have IT issues, but the bot is able to correctly understand network connectivity issue would mean it's an IT ticket. So it is able to call create IT ticket function automatically. Now imagine programming this using traditional programming language, right? How difficult would this be? You will have to predict all the different ways a user would call for an IT ticket creation, and you will have to code it. But AI is able to understand just from the natural language which ones are IT. And in the next case, I'm asking, hey, my payroll is not credited. What's happening? And it is able to understand that payroll would mean HR ticket, and it is able to call the HR ticket creation. If you can press play again, that part would come up where I'm asking, hey, can you create a ticket for me? I want this to get the HR's attention. And I didn't mention anywhere in my sentence the word HR or anything of that sort, but the bot is able to understand payroll would mean it's a HR ticket, and it is able to create a HR ticket for me with the right description. And it's all of this is in English, right? Like the way that I configured this, everything has been in English. The commands that I've given so far are in English. The entire bot has been configured to run in English language. But now I'm asking a question in Spanish. It is able to understand the Spanish command runtime and map it to the actions that I have provided in English. And not only does it map it to the right action, I'm actually asking for those of you who don't know Spanish on the audience, what I am saying here is, can you escalate this ticket for me? That's the question that I'm asking the bot. And it's able to understand this would mean calling escalate underscore ticket function. And it is not just able to do the right action, it is even responding to me in Spanish. That's nowhere in my code have I mentioned to the bot or to the AI that I need the response to be in Spanish, or even I don't know Spanish. So this is all happening with the magic of AI of its own.
Thanks, Satya. That's very, very powerful, right? So I just want to explore a little bit more, like explore further use cases and what that means. So that could mean that, I mean, in this sort of case, we've just done, you've shown how we can easily log tickets with help desk, service desk, and those kind of things. But it could be easily integrated with customers' own systems. And could be doing these actions real time, and you say it will interpret the lateral language, it'll understand, it'll have the skills basically to be able to go and update that system in the back end, and be able to make that all seamless from an end user's perspective. Is that right?
Absolutely. What I showed here is just a very simple demo with a bunch of 4 actions. You can absolutely configure this bot to your own set of actions that's meaningful to you, It could be anything. It could be working with a CRM, working with an inventory management system, working with your students to do a bunch of actions, assigning test, creating a test, creating quizzes. All of this could be actions, potential actions, and the bot will be able to understand and respond to you in a proper manner.
And you could use that and use, as you indicated, so this could be, these kind of scenarios could be built for not only internal staff, but also, you could be working with partners, you could be working with customers, where again, you could allow them to engage with yourselves, with the company basically in natural language, and provide them a really seamless end user experience, as opposed to having to chat with a very rudimentary bots that we've become used to over the years.
Absolutely. This could be something that you can use. And one of the very popular use cases that we have seen is, essentially ticketing triage, ticketing management system, call center systems where you allow customers to chat, and, incident management systems. These are very popular with our customers.
Cool. All right, let's move forward.
And if you move on to the next slide. Yeah.
So I think Satya and I will cover three some demos for you now. And so these are, the previous one was just an example of how you can use the library, but we'll show you three more demos, which are again just pre-recorded, just to give you simple and practical examples of how Teams and Azure OpenAI could work together to make our daily lives, work lives better. I'll let Satya drive the first one, and then I'll drive the next two.
Yep. I do see before this, just a quick pause on this.
Yeah.
Before this, I do see one question on the chat. So this demo, is this using Jira or is it a Microsoft ticketing management system? So this demo is more of like for a demonstration purpose. This is currently using our own internal ticketing management system, but you can absolutely link it to any ticketing management system that you are currently using in your organization. There is absolutely no limitation there. This is a code that you would own and run. So it can be linked to your own ticketing management system or a third-party system. Awesome. So for this particular demo that Sulabh has on the screen here, AI-assisted task management, what we have is a very interesting scenario that we commonly see in a lot of frontline worker cases, where you would need people to do not have the time of day to type a lot. They would want to speak more and assign tasks to each other, and they don't have the time to do a lot of laborious typing and assigning and clicking on buttons. That's where this is going to be super useful. What we have here is someone who is speaking to a Teams app saying that I have a emergency situation, an incident that has happened, and can you have someone start working on this particular task? And the AI is able to understand that speech, translate it into a task, and call the right person, assign them to the ask, and even follow up with them. If you can play the demo, Sulabh. So in this case, the person would be speaking about that incident in French.
Il faudrait aller au restaurant. Quelqu'un a fait tomber son plateau repas. Merci.
So they're asking, there is some issue, someone broke the plate, and if you can clean it up. There was a broken plate and spilled food, and if someone can clean it up. And if you see that audio, if you can pause a little bit over here, Sulabh. Yeah. The audio has been transcribed to a task name, a description. Someone dropped their tray at the restaurant and assistance is needed. So this is what was spoken in French, and AI was able to transcribe it into English. It was able to create a task name of its own. It was able to understand what language it was spoken. So it was not even coded to understand French to English. It did all of that of its own. You don't have to come up with a way or a business logic to translate French to English. All of that is done by AI of its own. And it is able to understand what category it has to be assigned under. This particular task is under cleaning category. There could be a bunch of other categories, right? Like there could be categories like, have an extra waiter assigned, or have a person set up a table. So all of this could be different categories. It is able to rightly understand this particular task is under cleaning category, and it has opened a task and posted it into a channel in Teams. Yeah, if you can play that, please. And once this task is created, this is integrated with Microsoft Tasks. And you can see this particular task, update it, start working on it, assign it to someone else, or whatever is needed, and you can start working on this particular task. And you can close it as well. If time goes on and it's not closed, AI will ping that particular person again, asking, hey, can you start working on this particular task? So this is an interesting example, and this could be used across, hospitals, hospitality industry, like in restaurants, everywhere, wherever you need people who are on the run, who would not have desktops and or on the mobile, and would want to speak rather than type.
I immediately think of a lot of customers, some of the customers we have around facilities management, and whenever there is a work health and safety issue with any sort of facilities they manage or properties they have, etc., they could just get on an app like this, just speak to the Teams app, and then automatically update their own systems and raise appropriate invoice or purchase orders, etc., to get the appropriate contractors to come in and have a look at the issue, etc.
Yep.
So yeah, and that's just obviously one example that I can think of. Retail as well. I can even think of customers just saying, "This is what I'm looking for." Is that something you provide, or is that something you can help with? And I can see the AI automatically understanding that, and then even possibly looping in the appropriate subject matter expert from the right team, right department, to help out with the query.
Absolutely. I think the beautiful thing about with integrating with AI is you can just give a goal, and it'll be able to figure a lot of the intermediate steps of its own, reducing a lot of complexity for you.
Yeah, and that's the main change in developing AI-based apps nowadays, right? We don't have to condition a lot of if-else logic. Like you said, AI will automatically basically develop a plan to understand what skills it has, what information is required, understand the context or the semantic meaning behind what the user is trying to say, and then automatically make that very seamless to the end user and pull that information in front of them.
Yeah. Completely agree, and I'm really excited for all the other use cases that it's going to open up. We are just scratching the surface with the demos that we are showing over here.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the next demo, and this one I'll drive. And I wanted to show this because this is something that we're implementing for a number of customers already, and something we come across quite often. You'll see on your screen, I'm interacting with QBot, which is a question bot platform we've implemented for a large number of customers over the years. And QBot stands for question bot. And this one is a intranet assistant, and that is available on Teams, where all staff mostly do their work. So in this example, you'll see Aaron is one of the new starters, comes to QBot, has a question, and wants to understand what is the hybrid policy. So it comes in and says, can you summarize the key points from the entire hybrid policy? Now, as we discussed earlier, generative AI models are very good at summarizing large volumes of text. So he gets an immediate response, providing a summary of the entire policy in about less than 100 words. You'll also notice that QBot has cited specific pages in the respective policies it has obtained the information from, providing the end user useful information while also providing transparency and building trust in the system. This goes into some of the responsible AI principles that I earlier talked about. Now, Aaron's able to click on these citations to view the relevant content, of course, and interact with QBot in that sort of way. Now, you'll see shortly another example coming up on your screen, and this is where Aaron is out and about whilst at work, and Aaron is contemplating having a beer, but it's not sure that if that's allowed under the organizational policy. So Aaron asks, QBot, can I drink alcohol at work? And QBot says, no, you're not allowed to drink alcohol at work. Breaches of the policy will result in disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment, whilst specifically referencing the pages in the code of conduct and the alcohol and drugs policy. And we're just zooming into the screen here so you can see where the AI actually got its response from. So those are all very real world examples of how, you've got a whole bunch of documents, knowledge that is sitting in SharePoint, file shares, whatever system it might be in. And you don't have to now search and then, traverse through few pages or all of these results, click through each of them, open the document to understand whether that's the right document firstly, and B, then you have to interpret that information and just think about the time we spend on doing those kind of activities. Now we have, just by leveraging AI, we are able to understand, converse in natural language, pull the information out of the documents, the information we have in other line of business systems, and make that very seamlessly available to the end user. This is another example, and this is the final example. We just wanted to show different types of examples so you can understand what are the possibilities here. And obviously, this is a very small subset of examples, but hopefully it gives you a bit of food for thought on what we could be doing very, very easily for you. So in this example, we've trained QBot to answer questions based on some courses. So think about learning management systems. We've trained it to answer questions based on those courses in the LMS, and these courses are obviously available within the organization for corporate learning purposes, but this could absolutely be applied to a lot of education customers for teaching and learning purposes as well. Now, in this case, the staff member is looking to do some training on Teams and is looking for some recommendations. So you can see QBot recommends a course to the staff member with a link to the course specifically, allowing them to click on the link and then being able to read through that. Now, having got a recommendation, the staff member is now able to ask further questions, such as, what are the learning objectives for this course? They can ask further questions like, maybe who is this course for? How long is this course? Is this course the right course for them? All of those kind of things the end user is able to interact with in a natural language form without having to actually go through individual systems, pull through all of the information, read through dozens of pages before they'll get their answer. So this is another example of how the end user is working on Teams within their flow of work, and they're able to pull information from other systems and get information at hand very, very quickly. Now, we're mindful of time, so I'll just walk you through a couple of other slides now in terms of some of the options you have available in terms to get started. If you are interested in leveraging OpenAI and you are thinking of building apps on, we offer a number of programs in this sort of area. The pilot program is for those customers who want to take they have a use case in mind and they'd like us to help them implement those use cases as proof of value before they go about implementing a full-fledged version of that system. Many of the customers now are in the transition phase where they understand generative AI enough to go, we don't need to do pilots. We're happy to do a production ready implementation, and this program can be evolved to do that as well. And also with this sort of program, we always conduct some workshops to help ideate, understand, identify the potential use cases as well, and just to expand and understand or help the customer understand how that particular use case could be implemented efficiently. The second program I have on the screen here is the AI Center of Excellence program. It's specifically designed for those customers who are looking to take their very first steps into the generative AI space, and goes through the whole process of identifying quick wins, conducting a proof of value before going into the pilot stage, and then looks at developing a comprehensive roadmap for additional use cases as well. And then the last one is for those customers who are investing in Microsoft Copilots. If you don't know what Microsoft Copilots are, we will be doing a whole webinar on it next time around. But the Microsoft Copilots are coming. They're being launched very, very soon. And we're helping the customers to get ready for those. So we conduct a complete review of your 365 services, including understanding information architectures, your security and data protection controls, understanding what sort of system integrations you may or may not, you may or may want to have to help you understand what is required for you to be ready. So you don't inadvertently make information available to staff and those kind of things. So we are also very well equipped and working a lot with the Satya's team to extend those co-pilots within Teams as an example. So we can extend those co-pilots to integrate with your own line of business systems or third-party systems. So when you are working in Teams and you type something in natural language, we might be able to pull information from a service, from a service ticketing system, or it could be from a CRM or ERP system, or whatever it might be. And that's all going to be possible through these co-pilots as well. On that note, feel free to reach out to us if you have any specific use cases, if you would just want to pick our brain and understand how you want to leverage AI or build AI apps on Teams. We're all available and would love to chat to you about that. On my previous comment, on the previous slide, we will be doing another webinar, and that webinar will specifically focus on the Microsoft Copilots and how you can extend those Copilots with your own applications and systems. Now with that, we've got 6-7 minutes remaining. I'll just open the floor for any Q&As, and whatever Q&A or Q questions we can't take today, we'll touch base with you individually and make sure they are all answered. So we'll open the floor now for Q questions. Just going to open my Q&A window and chat. So just bear with me whilst it's coming up. Satya, if you see something, just call it out. It's just taking a little bit of time on my end to open it up. Satya, whilst we're waiting for any questions to drop, any final thoughts? Anything you wanted to let the audience know?
I think this is a very fast evolving and fast moving space. And I think a lot of customers that I'm working with are building solutions that are in the cutting edge of AI. So I would recommend everyone on the call to start looking in the direction, to start exploring things that you can do with AI, because I think the productivity gains that you get by integrating your apps with AI and within Teams is going to be much, much larger than what we used to get with traditional apps. That's something that time and again, there are a lot of research reports coming up. So this would be a very, very good opportunity space for all of you to start exploring.
Cool. There's a question. Maybe you should take that question, Dean. Is there? Satya. Is there any avatar coming down the track?
So avatar in the sense, is it the Teams meetings avatar? Is that the one that you are talking about, Dean? Yeah. I think that's definitely coming out. We have Teams avatars coming up as well. I think if you see, I don't know if you are able to see mine now. I have applied an avatar instead of me actually talking about it. So it's still in preview, and we are doing a bunch of enhancements on top of it. So we are coming up with a bunch of avatar features where you can do a little bit of waving, saying hi, nodding, and all that in meetings using our avatar and not turning on your camera. Yes, that's coming up. And
just on the avatar one, I mean, that's just thinking about that. With all of these AI applications we build and the bots, etc., we build, we have the ability to give it a personality and an avatar in some sort of sense, which allows us to basically tell the AI how it should behave and it should respond in certain sort of certain situations, etc. So that's another point that I wanted to make just based on your question, Dean, there. Any other questions, comments that people had on the call? Cool. I'm just wondering,
I think
Satya,
we just got a question, Sulabh. How is the AI trained and iteratively improved when user encounters with potential system bugs or anomalies? Capable place that enables users to. So I'm just reading out the question for everyone. How is the AI trained and iteratively improved, especially when user encounters with potential system bugs or anomalies? For instance, is there a framework in place that enables users to promptly report issues and notify system administrators? Yes. So that's a good question. So it depends on which AI that you are going to be interacting with. If you are interacting with Microsoft Copilot, there is a thumbs up, thumbs down icon that comes up using which you can report an issue to Microsoft or any other Copilot features, you would be able to do that. If you are using a custom app that is built by Antares, or you are using a third-party app that is built by Jira or some other third-party partners, you will have places within the app where you can report an issue that would get sent to the developers directly, or the people in charge of the developers. So they will be able to work on making the app more tuned towards what you are expecting. In addition to that, the AI itself, you can also configure such that the AI itself understands some of the common shortcomings, depending on the scenario, things that you would expect to go wrong. If you can tell the AI that, it'll be able to circumnavigate those common issues and come up with fallback responses for that of its own.
Yeah, we also, with a lot of the implementations we do, we also provide analytics behind the scenes. So you're able to actually understand what are the system inputs and outputs, and you can see how the AI is responding in certain kind of situations. So it really allows you to see how accurate the AI is, where you want to make tweaks, and those kind of things as well. So that's another lever we provide to customers.
Yep, and that's one of the core pieces of a responsible AI principle as well. The end user customer must always be aware of how AI is generating a particular response. So you'll be traced to the data that AI has, which generated a response.
Yeah. All right, I'm mindful of time. We've got a minute left, so I'll just maybe see if there's any final question that comes in. Otherwise, we might just call it for the day. I'll just flip to the next slide, just in case, just so you have my details. If you want to reach out, you want to have a chat or discuss anything, feel free to grab my details and reach out to me. You can also reach out to us via our website. Both of those means are absolutely fine. With that, I hope you got something out of the session today. I hope your time was valuably spent. We definitely appreciate your time. And like I said, I'm looking forward to discussing your use cases, your business scenarios and requirements in the coming days and weeks. So thank you for your time again, and I hope to see you in the coming days and weeks. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.